We welcome you to America too. You're from Melbourne, Australia, on a short tour. We appreciate you coming by.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
So you were recently on Late Night with Seth Meyers. That was a fantastic performance.
Thank you.
Very electrifying. And I read that you were pretty nervous about it beforehand. Did it work out well?
I was kind of okay. It was such a ease. Those guys, the guys at NBC, it's just business as usual for them, and it really kind of felt like that for us too, because everyone was so calm and just really knew what they were doing, and we kind of just slipped into the routine, and it felt really comfortable for us. So
good.
It wasn't like people were frantically running around and yelling and speaking really fast and not giving you the information that you need, then yeah, you'd be more nervous. But because they were so professional and wonderful to work with, it was a lot easier than it could have been.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we are glad that we have that video available, and of course we'll have this video available too on our YouTube channel, KVNA FM YouTube, live from Studio.One. We've got Alex Lahey, who just performed in Phoenix last night, and now you're heading up the West Coast for some more shows.
Yep, that's right. Yep, our last sort of run before we head home. Yeah.
Heading home for the holidays?
Yep, that's right.
All right. So Melbourne, Australia is where you're from. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Melbourne. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I've been corrected on it in the past. So so listeners who are new to you have been hearing Every Day's the Weekend on the radio, KVNA FM, and we want to know, where is this place where every day is the weekend? We want to go there.
No, every day isn't the weekend anywhere. We have responsibilities and stuff, and I think that's what the song's about, is getting a little bit irresponsible at times and treating, life like every day's the weekend, and it ends up catching up with you.
Well, we can at least think that every day's the weekend and try to get through our daily work grind with that thought. And you're going to perform some songs for us today. What's the first one?
Well, I'll play Every Day's the Weekend since we're talking about it.
Sounds great.
No worries. You sleep in my bed, even when I'm not at home. I have to make some money while you're in sheets all alone. I think about you all the time, but we say it's just pretend. Stuff work, you're here, every day's the weekend. You say I make you nervous, well I feel it double. Why is it so easy? We both know we're in trouble. I'm not so good with in between, but how bad can it really be? So what, you're here, every day's a weekend. Don't know, don't care, every day's a weekend. My hands are cold, but my feet are not. Are you leaving me, or have you just forgot? In the end, we were never friends, but more. You've got things like a family, they're a bigger deal than I'll ever be. That's okay, we should ride this wave to shore. You're going away to the place where you came from. If I had it my way, your stay would be prolonged. Consider these conditions, forget your inhibitions. Don't look, jump in, every day's a weekend. Don't know, don't care, every day's a weekend. My hands are cold, but my feet are not. Are you leaving me, or have you just forgot? In the end, we were never friends, but more. You've got things like a family, they're a bigger deal than I'll ever be. That's okay, we should ride this wave to shore. Let's just do this, every day's a weekend. Doesn't matter what they say, every day's a weekend. Don't know, don't care, every day's a weekend. Stuff work, you're here, every day's a weekend. Monday, Tuesday, every day's a weekend. Wednesday, Thursday, every day's a weekend. I don't know what to say, every day's a weekend, every day's a weekend. My hands are cold, but my feet are not. Are you leaving me, or have you just forgot? In the end, we were never friends, but more. You've got things like a family, they're a bigger deal than I'll ever be. That's okay, we should ride this wave to shore. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you.
Alex Lahey, live from Studio.One, KVNA FM. It's Jules here. Thank you so much for stopping by and performing for us. You know, you're a pretty young lady. You've released your debut full length on your very own record label. That's quite a feat. And now touring in the United States, getting airplay on American radio stations. How does somebody young like yourself go about such great feats?
For me, it's just, I don't know, like I haven't really thought about it in the context of like where I am in my life or anything. It's just, you know, playing music has always been something that I do. And it's always like kind of like a given for me that I will be playing. And if, you know, and if things hadn't gone, I guess, like to plan, and I was, you know, still playing in small bars in Melbourne and all that sort of thing, like I'd still be doing it. I just kind of got really lucky.
When did you start playing?
I started writing songs when I was about 13 or 14. But I've been playing music my whole life, like in various kind of formats. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you were in a band previous to being solo, correct?
Yeah, I was. I was in a band called Animo, which we used to play around Melbourne and do like sort of short tours in Australia as well. I did that for years, and that was like really sort of how I like cut my teeth as a performer and as a songwriter in a way as well.
Similar sound?
Very different. It was like a 7-piece like pop band. We had like a horn section and everything. Yeah,
wow.
It was very different.
Well, we appreciate the energy that you bring to our radio station. You have great songs.
Thank you.
Were there any American artists that inspired you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's always like people from all over the world who like inspire like what I do. But some of my favorite American artists, like right now, like Paramore just released an amazing record, which is really exciting. And I've been listening to like since the Grammy nominees came out, I've been listening to a bunch of stuff that you know, has obviously been that maybe I'm sort of missed along the way, which has been really fun. Like, and also like sort of stuff that I haven't really spent much time listening to, like SZA and Kendrick Lamar's new album. And yeah, it's been really fun to sort of open my listening palette to that kind of thing.
I find you a little bit similar to like Blondie and the Pretenders, kind of that
cool
punky girl sound. I like that.
There's a lot of that sort of stuff coming out of the UK as well at the moment, which is really exciting. So yeah, it's a good vibe.
So, and you started your own record label basically for the purpose of putting out your own record. And I read somewhere that you had to hawk your car to do it. Yeah. So, do you have any more cars? Maybe you could sign some more musicians or artists?
No, I have a car on permanent loan at the moment, which if I sell, the money's all going straight to my mum. But no, I released my EP in this record in Australia on my own label, and I've had the help of a great label called Dead Oceans around the world, sort of helping me out outside of home. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to definitely put out other people's music. I reckon that'd be really fun. Like I really like the idea of like grassroots like labels kind of being like a real community kind of thing, and I reckon that could be a really fun thing to sort of I don't know, foster.
Yeah, that would be a neat scene to be a part of.
Yeah. So
you got another song for us?
Yeah, this song is from the record as well, and it's called Perth Traumatic Stress Disorder.
Alex Lahey from Studio.One.
Perth is lucky that she's pretty, otherwise I'd hate that city, the only place my heart's been torn into. Always worth the lengthy flights and sometimes the warm sleepless nights. There's no such thing as coming back too soon. A different situation, I don't know. When I have some luck, the standard's low. I still can't recover from the way you let me down. I hear you got a new girl, yeah, that's fine, but I think about it all the time. I resent the way you made me love your western town. Perth is lucky that she's pretty, otherwise I'd hate that city, isolated from my eastern life. Bands in bars on widened streets where beaches meet the urban heat, and people seem to be friendly and nice. I know I should probably let it go, but it's only now I finally know you were only trouble looking for a place to stay. Yeah, I got to visit somewhere new, now forever tainted with thoughts of you. Didn't even get an inadvertent holiday. Ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Perth is lucky that she's pretty, otherwise I'd hate that city, hate this city, love this city. Perth, you're lucky, you're so pretty.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Very pretty song.
Thanks.
Alex Lahey in Studio.One. Jules here for KVNA FM. And we've been enjoying and experiencing somewhat of an Australian wave of music here in America in the last couple of years. 100.1's been on the air for 3 years now, pretty soon. And we've seen a lot of great artists from Australia coming through. Vance Joy, Amy Shark, Tash Sultana, Courtney Barnett, Hamish Anderson,
I went to school with Hamish Anderson.
Did you really?
Yeah, we went to school together.
another more recent name that we're
funny is that?
playing. So why do you think that is? Why do you think there's so many Australian artists all of a sudden that's making a big hit in America?
I think there always have been. I think you guys are just taking notice. No, I think that there definitely always has been. And if you look through like the history of Australian music, like there's always been these like super significant artists, like whether you know In Excess or Midnight Oil or whatever. Like we've always been there. AC/DC. Like I think it's just. Now more than ever, it's easier to share your music like with the internet and all that sort of stuff. And it's also easier to travel as a musician to tour and that kind of thing as well. And I think that there's definitely just been a lot of support, especially with like government funding and that sort of thing, that's really enabled Australian artists to get abroad. But I think it's also just, there've been a couple of artists that have really sort of paved the way to allow like people like me to sort of, I guess, broaden my horizons as an artist in terms of where, people can listen to my music and that sort of thing. And the two that come to mind are Tame Impala and Courtney Barnett. And it's really wonderful to, I guess, like, take advantage of those opportunities that those great artists have kind of like made for, people like me to come and travel and meet people like you and play for you. And it's the best.
Blazing a path for Alex Lahey, huh? So, we've also noticed that you've been on tour and you're missing home. What are some of the favorite memories you have from Australia that you brought with you on the road?
We've been touring this record like literally since like the week before it came out. So we started on the 30th of September and we started in Australia. So we came over to Europe and to the US from having done like a home country kind of tour, and playing to the crowds at home is like, there's always something different, and it's always like a real vibe, and there's a real sense of, I guess, like, there's a real sense of home, like doing it, and to sort of like come off the high of doing that, I think put my band and I in really good stead for, quite a long slog on the road in a lot of places where, we're both unfamiliar with and people are unfamiliar with us. So, I think that's like that's the fondest thing that I can think of. Yeah.
That's really cool. You're bringing the love from your fans back home.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. So hopefully they'll see this video and appreciate the love that you sent them.
Yeah.
And we wish you happy travels. Of course, you've got a few more shows up the West Coast.
Yeah.
So if folks want to check out a road trip and check out Alex Lahey on the road, where would they go to find that?
There's definitely some content on Facebook and Instagram. And they should also check out a band called Dude York who've been supporting us across the country on this tour, and their Twitter is particularly wonderful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the hot tip. Yeah.
We'll do that. And you've got one more final song for us. Sing us out, Alex Lahey, live from Studio.One.
Thank you so much, Jules. This song's called I Want You. You're the kind of person who likes going to the movies alone. You only drink cider and you're aching to move out of home. I don't know much more about you, but it seems to me that you're my kind. I get so excited when I hear that you are coming round. It used to surprise me when you'd say that you weren't homeward bound. I don't know much more about you, but it seems to me that you do things that people only do when they think that they like me too. I want you even when you're out of town, even when you're up and down, even when I'm all alone, even when we're on the phone, even though you'll never know from the day you said hello. You make me feel happy. I don't know what I do that keeps you round. If we were in high school, you would have more friends than me, no doubt. I don't know much more about you, but it seems to me that you do things that people only do when they think that they like me too. I want you even when you're out of town, even when you're up and down, even when I'm all alone, even when we're on the phone, even though you'll never know from the day you said hello. I want you even when you're out of town, even when we're up and down, even when I'm all alone, even when we're on the phone, even though you'll never know from the day you said hello. Oh, 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 oh. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you folks for listening and watching KVNA FM on YouTube.
Cool.
Great job.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna